is going on, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. I am Lance Yarbrough with DP Magic Books, and today, the topic for today is the Petal Force. What is the Petal Force? How does it work? What can you do with it? Well, the Petal Force is, well, it's a force, but it's a method that uses cards to force the outcome that you want onto your participant when you're giving your participant only one of two choices. It's very specifically used for this application. When you have two choices that you are giving your participant and you want to force one of those options, the Petal Force is perfect for this scenario. So how does it work? Well, it's amazing that it even works the way it does, because you can literally use any number of cards. Your participant can literally pick up any number of cards and use that number of cards to get, and you can force the outcome you want onto your participant without doing any sleight of hand, anything. It's super simple, and it's amazing that it even works the way it does. But the way it's called the Petal Force, by the way, because it's reminiscent of that whole plucking petals off of a flower, the he loves me not, he loves me not situation. That's two options. He loves me not. You have two options. And the way it works is also like you're plucking petals off of a flower. Because the way it works is you deal a card onto the table and the next one gets dealt under. The next one gets dealt to the table and the next one gets dealt under. And you keep going in this manner until you have reached the last card, and the last card will represent the final result, the final option, because you'll be dealing every time you make a move with a card. This will be like he loves me not, he loves me not, and that's how the procedure, the handling of the cards works. But so let's get into an example. Let's use 2, 4, 6, 8 cards. Again, it can be any amount of cards. And let's say we want to force the he loves me not situation onto our participant. So it would work like so. We want to force that situation. So you would start with he loves me not. 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 Loves me not. Loves me, and the last card, not. And that's the result we wanted to force, and that's the result we got. Now, again, just to show you, it doesn't matter how many cards you have. We could just add an extra card, and we want to force the same outcome. We want to force he loves me not. So, again, he loves me not. He loves me not. He loves me not. 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 Loves me and not. Yeah, you end up with not. That's how it works. It's amazing that it works that way. It does not matter how many cards you have in your hand as you do the procedure. As the secret is this: as long as you start the dealing process with the option you don't want, it would always work out with the last card is the option that you do want. So that is the secret to the Petal Force. That's all there is to it. You can force any scenario where you have two options that you're forcing on, that you want your participant to choose from. Heads or tails, for example. You could have your participant pick up any amount of cards they want, and if you want to force tails onto your participant, you have them start by dealing heads. Heads, tails. 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 It's that simple. No sleight of hand required. You just need to remember to start the dealing process with the option that you don't want. And that's it. Now, I do have a trick for you to put this this principle, this method, this technique into practice. And I call it trip hit, because there's three aspects to discovering your participant's secretly selected cards. And so the trick starts out by, you could shuffle the cards, have your participant shuffle the cards, and your participant selects any card they want to, and this can be for one participant. I know my previous videos, I like working with two. The tricks that I presented so far require two participants. This one requires, at the very least, one participant. So you spread the cards and you have your participant they can remove a card and secretly view that card. Now, as they're looking at that card, you want to make sure the packet in your right hand, the far left card, you want to make sure it's protruding out a little. You don't want it to be hiding like this. You want it to be sticking out a little bit like this. Because when you're going to invite your participant to place their card back onto the packet in your left hand, then you're going to bring the cards together and you're going to push their card out, and as the cards come together, you're going to align their selected card with this protruding card here, and you're going to show it to them one more time, and you're going to tell them to take one more good look at it and burn it into your brain, because you're going to be asking them questions about this card later and you don't want them to forget. And then you bring the cards down and you place their card into the right hand packet and you hand it to them. And in that motion, the magic is done. You have just switched their selected card with a random card, which is what you put in here, and their selected card is now on top of the packet in your left hand. How does that work? Let's get into that real quick. It's not difficult. This is John Bannon's conflection control. Super awesome switching technique that's super simple to do, super easy to do. And it works. It's so fooling, and it just looks so natural. So when you have your participant select the card, when they're looking at it, remember this bottom card you want to leave it protruding out a little bit to the left. You're going to ask them to place their card back onto your packet in your left hand. Your cards are going to come together, and you're going to push this one over on top, and you're going to align it with that card that's protruding out. Then you're going to show it to them like this. Now you're going to come up and apparently grab that card and throw it into the middle of the deck. But what you're actually doing is you're clipping both of those cards as one with the thumb and pulling that off. And it looks like this is their card, this top card, but it's not. This is a random card. Their card is now second from the top. But that's the motion. You show them the card. You clip both of those cards because they're aligned as one. You clip both of them with the thumb as you come down, and then you just shove off that top random card and place it inside the packet and hand it to them as if you have it looks so fair that you've just shown them the card again and you placed it in the middle of the deck and you handed it to them. But really, their card is over here. Now, if you have a marked deck, as I usually do, you can just look down and see what the card is. You can look at the marking and know what it is, because you need to know what their card is before you start the next procedure. But if you don't have a marked deck, you simply riffle to the cards and let that last card drag a half a second and catch your glimpse. It's the 10 of hearts. You could you can go through a shuffle sequence next if you wanted to. You can shuffle the top card to the bottom, catch a glimpse of the bottom card as you shuffle it back to the top. That's just as valid a procedure of glimpsing the top card. You want to keep it on top of the deck. You can use, what I usually use is Ben Earl's idea for a shuffle sequence with a J Aussie cut. J Aussie cut, if you don't know, if you've watched previous videos, you've seen the Aussie cut already. But the Aussie cut is just a false cut that drops the top packet to the right. The next packet gets cut in half. You drop the last packet down on to the side of that, and then you stack everything up in the same order, and that's a complete false cut that looks very fair. But you can add a shuffle sequence to this by having your participant cut off about a third, dropping it down, and then they can shuffle the cards that are left in their hand, cut off a half of what's left, and then shuffle the rest of the packet and drop it down. Then you can stack the cards up in the same order, and that's effectively an Aussie cut, in which your participant feels like they shuffled the whole thing, but they really didn't, because this top packet over here didn't actually get shuffled. But they shuffled twice and they cut twice, and it just looks like, it just feels like they shuffled and cut everything. So it feels incredibly fair, but their card is nevertheless, it is on top of the deck, but they believe it to be in their packet over here. Now you're going to ask them, your participant, to deal 3 piles of cards. You're going to pay attention to where their card gets dropped down, which one, because they could deal from this direction, they could deal from this direction. You want the pile that has their card in it to be the last one in the sequence that you're about to do. But you can have them deal it out, and then once they've dealt the 3 cards, you could have them deal in 2s, 3s, and in any direction they want. Completely random, apparently random. And now you're going to point out that we now have 3 packets of cards that you're going to use these cards to determine, to find out what your participant's secretly selected card is. Now, 3 packets, you're using 3 packets specifically because any card in the deck is made up of 3 components: the color, the suit, and the value, and that's what you're going to use these packets for. And you're going to start with the packet farthest away from the packet that has their card in it, and you're going to say, we're going to start with the color, and this is how we determine what color your card is. Now, your color is either black or red. Now, I know you need to know what this is why you need to know what this card is. We know it's the 10 of hearts, so you need to force red. So when I explain this, I always explain, you need to start by using the opposite option that you want, but I always, even when I'm explaining what I'm going to do, I'll start by explaining using the option I don't want first. So I'll say colors. In any deck, you have 2 colors, and I'll start with the option I don't want first. I'll say you have option of black or red. And that just makes the flow better, because now you're going to go into the dealing sequence and you're going to start black and then red. So I'll say, yes, you got every deck has 2 colors, black and red. And the way we determine that is you just shuffle these cards. We have an unknown number of cards here, but we're just going to deal out in a sequence. We're going to say black, red, 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 black, and we end up with red. So the cards are telling us that your secretly selected card is a red card, is it not? And your participant's going to agree. Now you can put these cards aside. You can even put them on top of your, you can hand them to your participant to hold on to. Then you move on to the second stack, and you said, now that we know what the color is, within any color, you have 2 suits. Now we know the forcing suit, we know the suit that we're trying to force is the hearts. So when I explain this, I'll start with diamonds. I'll say within the red colors, you have diamonds and hearts. So we're gonna do the same procedure: diamonds, hearts, 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 diamonds, hearts. So the cards are telling me that your secretly selected card is a heart, and your participant is going to have to agree. Now that's the pedal procedure, the pedal force. We've used it, we've forced the color, we've forced the suit, now we got values. Now values, there's way more than 2 options for the values. And you can explain this when you get to the values. You say, well, we have way more than 2 options. You have 13 different values in a deck of cards. So we have to change the procedure up just a little bit, and literally you do have to change the procedure up, but you want it to kind of feel the same way. So what I do is we're forcing we need to force the value. We want to force the value of 10, and we're going to use this card to do it. So what I do is I simply spell the word value, and that word value has 5 letters in it. So what I'm going to do is shuffle this bottom card so that it is now 5th from the top of this packet. And the way I do that is by dragging the bottom card and the top card at the same time. That's 1 card on top. 2, 3, 4 cards. You're just shuffling. Now this is the card is 5th of this little packet here. Now you can jog the next card off the back and then shuffle freely on top. And you can either throw that bottom packet on top, or you can shuffle to the break and then throw on top. But now their card is 5th from the top, and you can just say for the value, because we have more than 2 options, I'm just going to deal. I'm just going to spell value, V-A-L-U-E, and you're going to look at this card. It's going to be their card, but you're just going to call out the value, and you're just going to say 10, like this. But don't show them this card yet. Just say 10. Was your card the 10 of hearts? And they're gonna. It's like it's amazing. They're gonna agree. Yes, it was the 10 of hearts. And as a finale, after that's amazing enough as it is, and you can say that's pretty amazing. But what's more amazing is that if I give it a magic blow, this 10 turns into your 10 of hearts, and that's a transposition of the card that they thought they were holding on to the whole time is now in your hands. And that is Trip Hit. That is an effect that I have for you guys. Hope you like it. As for applications, alternative applications for this, well, really the application for this Petal Force is specifically used when you have to have 2 options. So any type of scenario you have where you're giving where you need to force one of 2 options, you can apply the Petal Force to. Colors, black or red, suits, diamonds or hearts. Also, you could force. You could bring it to picture cards or number cards. That's a forcing option. Heads or tails. That's a popular one, but I don't know why you would. You'd have to come up with some kind of presentation to apply cards to forcing coin outcomes, but I'm sure you could come up with something. You could force number options that you wanted. It's 1 of 2 numbers. You could force a specific number you wanted to get to a certain location, just as easy. Also, you could have your ultimate force card secretly placed in 1 of 2 card boxes, a red card box or a blue card box, and your participant doesn't know which one it is in. And you could use the Petal Force at the end. You could your participant could literally pick up any amount of cards they want to, and then walk through the Petal Force and then choose the box that the red one or the blue one that has their selection in it, or whatever selection you want to force in there. That's an option. It's a 1 of 2 force. It's forcing 1 of 2. So whatever whatever you can come up with that you're forcing one of two, you can apply the Petal Force to. So I hope I explained how it works. I hope you like the trick, and I hope you get some use out of it and start creating your own tricks that make use out of this very, very deceptive forcing method. And yeah, I hope you like it, and I guess we'll see you on the next one.